Vladimir Tarasenko to the Rangers. Oh boy! And what was the
I
return
did an
question?
article on it.
Yes, you did.
I will give you the return. So the Rangers get not only Vladimir Tarasenko, but they get
Sammy Blue.
Nico Mikkola, who's a guy that I was a fan of in the lead up to the deadline here. And in return, the Blues reacquire
Sammy
Samuel
Blaze.
Blaze, who's already scored for them, as well as I think he's like a B prospect, Hunter Skinner. Hadn't heard of him until this trade, as well as a 2023 first round pick with conditions, and a 2024 fourth round pick. The condition for the first is really the one that matters here, and that is it'll be a first round pick, or it'll be whichever of these two picks are later, being the 2023 Rangers first or the Dallas 2023 first. Obviously, they got that in the Nils Lundqvist trade with the Stars earlier in the season. So that's the trade right there. Yeah, what do you guys think about this trade?
This is one of the trades I looked at and I was like, okay, I don't know who won. This to me seems like a pretty even trade. The reason I say this is because obviously the Rangers, they had a lethal scorer, Vladimir Tarasenko. I know he has chemistry with Panarin already. We've all seen it. You guys probably read the stories. Tarasenko has been trying to get before Panarin signed with the Blackhawks. Tarasenko was asking the Blues management, get this guy, please get this guy. Obviously, he went to Chicago. You know the story from there. And then they found their way together in New York, and they're going to be playing together. They have a lethal offense with Zibanejad there. Chef's kiss.
Imagine how different. Imagine how different the NHL looks because Panarin was absolutely essential to the 2015 Blackhawks Cup run. Imagine how the NHL looks. So St. Louis ended up getting their cup right in 2019, but imagine because St. Louis, a lot of people seem to forget, but St. Louis was during that Blackhawks era, they were always in and around that top spot. It was you had to go through Chicago. That was the problem, right? Imagine instead Panarin joins up with Tarasenko and like the likes of like I don't know Ryan O'Reilly and all those guys on St. Louis. Before maybe we could have seen a cup in St. Louis earlier than 2019. Maybe a couple of years earlier. Maybe we could have seen another one, like two of them.
Potentially.
Who knows?
But
Yeah, I think you could have made an argument for 2015 there.
yeah.
For sure.
But going back to the return, obviously Tarasenko slowed down a bit, right? In the past couple of years, it's no surprise to anybody. We've all seen it. He's been I want to say regression, but he's not point per game anymore. And they got the first round pick, which is always good, and they got a prospect. I mean, for a guy you knew you were going to lose anyway, that's a pretty decent haul.
I call it a fair return.
Yeah.
I think this is your classic rental pickup by the Rangers, and the Blues are getting your classic rental return. I would call it just a fair trade, but I really like this trade for the Rangers. Like Brian, you said
I
it.
didn't want to hear you say that.
I know, like, listen, Brian, every passing day, I want to reverse retro Rangers jersey more and more. Also, like, I can't remember if I said this on the pod. I may or may not like have put down like $4 or $5 on the Rangers like back in June to win the cup this year. So
I hope you lose your money
I
there.
like that. it was like boosted odds, bro. Anyways, I think it was like $4 to win 100. Anyways, betting aside, yeah, this really lengthens the Rangers lineup. Specifically at forward. And listen, in my opinion, I'd say that the Rangers are basically one more trade away for, like, let's say a middle six forward. They're one trade away from having like a truly formidable roster with not many holes in it. I was looking at Cap Friendly to see like, okay, can they actually make another move? It's possible. They have like just under like $400K in cap space right now, which obviously isn't enough to add somebody outright. But with the assumption that you'd be sending another forward down to the AHL and maybe shipping one out. We know that Kravtsov is now on the block again, and I think he makes 1.5. So it is totally doable, guys. You add another guy who's making, let's say, less than $1 million this year, and you're pushing a guy like Jake Leschyshyn out of their top 12, and you've got quite the roster. I just want to read these lines, though, really quickly here. The first line we know, they've actually changed it up a bit. Right now they're running Kreider, Zibanejad, Tarasenko, Panarin, Trocheck, Jimmy Vesey. If you can knock Jimmy VC out of the top 6, that's where you're doing really well. I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but yeah, you got the kid line as your third line: Laugh, Heedle, and Kako. And right now you got Barclay Goodrow, Jake Leschyshyn, and Julien Gauthier as your fourth line. You require fourth line center. That is a deep forward group.
Let me just ask you guys this: do they have the best PP1 in the league, just based off like on paper? Adding Tarasenko, that's a power play specialist. Because Edmonton,
there's a team that,
I would say Boston.
Like literally, that's another in Tampa.
I think. Well, that's 1 and 2 right now, right?
Because they have.
I think in terms of actual players on the line, it's probably Edmonton. But in terms of cohesion and maybe who you want to send out, I don't know. I always kind of get stuck with the Oilers because it does feel like sometimes they could get into a bit of a run. Like it's like too much star power and too very, very like top heavy. But for me, like the Bruins are top heavy, but they always seem to get it done. And then if they don't get it done with that first line, that second line's coming out, and they're probably going to cause just as much damage. So I'll go with them, but you can make the case for top 3, top 5 for sure.
The reason I say the Rangers, like the reason I bring this up is because you have a guy like Fox, sleeper passer, has a clap bomb. Panarin and Zibanejad are notably power play specialists. Both of them are interchangeable in any spot on the power play, but Tarasenko is too. Does
Tarasenko even make PP1 though? Like, I feel like you throw Kreider on the net front still.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, right? Like that's just another guy that you can just in and out, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like embarrassment of riches, right? Like you have so many solutions to fix the problem, basically.
This is where we want the Leafs to be. Like, the Rangers are having the problems that like Leaf fans are dreaming about. Like, oh, what if they acquired Horvat or Meyer or Tarasenko? It'd be like, where do you play him? How is he playing on PP1? Rangers are going through that problem right now. Nobody's criticizing them for it because it's a good problem to have, right?
Well, you know why nobody's criticizing for them? Because they've gotten the ball running. Basically, the first game, Tarasenko scores on his first shot, right? The game after, so I believe they played. Was it Friday and Saturday, or Thursday and Saturday? Or did they play?
Question.
Whatever.
Sure.
They played 2 games. Tarasenko's played 2 games in New York.
Yeah.
The first game, he scores a goal. The game after, his line mate Panarin scores 4. So it's like, they already, like, I don't know how many of those goals came on the power play. I'm not too sure, but it's like, it's just an embarrassment of riches right now for New York. And one that I think kind of, I don't want to say that the Isles kind of forced the Rangers' hand into doing anything, but you see the Isles starting to make moves. They got the big fish, right? And that was the first like ripple in the trade deadline. Sorry, in the trade pool. Who was next? So, and it was obviously the crosstown rivals, right? There's 3 New York teams in contention. New York City based teams.
Metro area.
The Buffalo Sabres are New York State, but different division, right? But the 3 I'm looking at are the Devils, the Isles, and the Rangers. The Isles and the Rangers both made significant moves to maintain their position and potentially go on deep runs. The Isles are fighting for their playoff lives. The Rangers are loading up for a deep cup run. So now, the third team in that little trifecta, the Devils, it's not even just them. It's like now the Metro basically has to react. Like two of the teams in that division made big moves. What type of plan do the other teams in that division like? How are they going to plan for the future? Basically, is the question that I'm asking.
As a team in the division, God damn it! Oh my goodness!
I mean, Caps fans, Canes fans, Penguins fans. Listen, if I'm a Penguins fan, I don't know. I'd be hoping to God you guys make the playoffs, but I see them as the team falling out personally,
Me too.
and I love Crosby,
I
I love
agree.
Malkin,
Yeah.
but damn, like all of those teams now are gonna have to really make some moves just to hold their spot currently.
Just to keep pace.